Hello good people, back with another video. Just set up this Washburn C40, which is a cheap guitar but actually plays really well with a nice setup. So just a reminder to not overlook lesser guitars. If you do some work on them, they're quite nice. Seems like my last video got some interesting responses. I talked about, one of the things I talked about was the fact that I wasn't going to get into bashing other Luthier channels, guitar channels, gear channels, all that stuff. I thought it was I think it's sort of a waste of energy and a bit lacking in grace and tact, in my opinion, and got quite a lot of blowback from that actually. Other channels, very nice folks chiming in saying that they don't really appreciate it either. They find merit in all the different posters in their various specialities, and they just bypass the content that they're not interested in. I think that's the way to go on YouTube. So apparently there's some interesting energies stirring at the moment. I watched a rather sad video from Cory Morra, I think that's how you pronounce it, who's one of the two German lads who do a lot of reviews of Harley Bentons and some of the more European distributed stuff. Great guys, and I think we need to give them props. I mean, they've been doing this a while. These guys are trailblazers. I discovered Harley Benton and Thomann and that whole corner of cheap stuff, guitar stuff, because of their videos. I mean, China Guitar Skeptic is one, Nick in the States is another, Cory Morra and Isaac P141, I can't remember his full name. Those guys for a few years now have been finding stuff and doing videos on it, and I think we should thank them for you know, sort of blazing a trail. Now a lot of people are doing it, but they've been doing it for a number of years. Anyway, this was a sad video. Apparently Cory had gotten attacked for his production of a certain video on a Harley Benton guitar, and just was just rather down about the comments and the trolls and people coming after him for trivial stuff, saying how he works hard at his videos and puts a lot of time and money into it, and sometimes the comments get him down. I'm not in that position yet. I've had a couple of trolls, but nothing really that bad. In my other job, I teach rhetoric and debate, so if anyone wants to take me on, good luck to them. You know, I haven't deleted comments. I haven't got to that stage. I don't think I ever will. But I can understand sometimes when you put a lot of time and effort into things, and people just immediately are negative. I just watched another video of I think it was I'm not sure if it was an Anderton's video, but it was about the new British series of Chapman guitars. And you know, again, Rob's doing a video. He's really happy about it. You know, he's telling the world about these guitars he had made in Britain, which is, you know, a great achievement for a 4 or 5 year old company. You know, we all want American-made, British-made guitars, so I can't see why people wouldn't applaud that. Scrolling down to the comments, just absolutely scathing, horrible, bad-spirited responses. Oh, I can't believe you're charging $4 grand for these. It's daylight robbery. Those are crap guitars. They're probably made in Korea. You're just saying they're made in the UK. You know, on and on and on and on. And I'm thinking, A, be happy for the guy. If you can't afford one or don't want to pay that much for one, don't buy one. I haven't bought any $4,000 guitars lately either, but I'm not going to sit there and bash people. You know, when you have something made, handcrafted by select luthiers with top materials, that's the price range you're going to be in. That's just the way it is. If you want something of that ilk, you have to pay for it. It's the same with the Crimson stuff. You know, those guitars start at 2,000-3,000. That's the ballpark you're in. If you want to play there, you gotta pay that amount. If you want the budget stuff, you do what I do and you fix it up and you set it up and you can find good stuff. But you know, I don't understand the negativity sometimes, and I understand how it gets people down. And I felt bad watching Cory's video because I think he's a good guy. His videos are interesting. People even bashing his English, and he speaks better English than most Americans, in my view. Perfectly fine English. So that was sad, and I'm very grateful to those channels that have been doing what I'm doing. You know, for 2 or 3 years when no one else was doing it. Got nothing but respect from me. I'm not going to bash them. You know, and then I see Dave's World of Fun stuff. Dave seems to have called all of the you know, the notorious members, as we should say, of the guitar, luthier, gear community to some live showing. I think it's done in sarcasm. I don't think they're all going to show up. I would be very surprised if that happens. So there's some bad blood in the air or something. I don't know if it has to do with Scott Grove's comments about him or somebody else's comments. I have no idea. But it's, you know, there's just no need for it. It's just all rather pointless. These celebrities on YouTube are really, it's a laugh. It's nothing. You know, you go out and you're still unknown. You know, if you have 1,000 hits on a video, it's really not that big of a thing. Yeah, I watched a recent video with Will's Easy Guitar when he was completely just criticizing the whole NAMM and is it Gitcom shows, saying they're a complete waste of time. He went to one and there's nothing there for him. He thought it was pretentious and people were just rubbing elbows to get contacts, and it was all, you know, rather cronyistic type of thing. I get what he's saying. I work for a couple of companies, and they only the cream of the crop of the company, the managers, the owners, went to NAMM. Everybody else had to stay back in the warehouse and work harder. So it was only a select few that ever went to those shows, and you know, it is a bit of a big commercial splurge and a lot of name dropping and trying to be seen with people. I completely understand what Will was saying about that. It's not really where my interest lies. I'm not really interested in what Fender or Gibson's doing. You know, they haven't changed much. They're not that innovative. And you know, if I went to one of those shows, I'd probably be hanging out at the boutique guitar booth and checking out all the small-time makers and you know, the guys that make 1 or 2 guitars a year, or the off-brand booths, looking for new finds in the world of guitar off-brands. Like I've said in so many of my videos, they're all, most of the time they're made in the same factories anyway. So logos, branding really is immaterial and becoming less and less important. You know, so if you do go to those shows, go and look for materials and craftsmanship and the way things are made. Don't worry about what's on the logo. It's really not that big of a deal. There are some guitars I really love, and I really love what they're doing. I'm not saying anything against them. I'm just saying keep your mind open. And as far as this bad blood and riffery going on between instrument channels and Luthier channels, you know, just try to ignore it. Don't rise to it. You know, those people that feel a need to be negative on comments, you can't do anything about them. You just have to either ignore them or blot them out of your life. They're always going to be trolls. They're always going to be people, you know, who are just unhappy with life, that are out there to make everybody else miserable and question everything and act like they know everything. Unfortunately, that summarizes a lot of guitar players. I've never seen such self-assurance with so little knowledge than in the guitar community. I mean, people learn how to play a scale and all of a sudden they're an expert, or you know, they've had a couple of guitars for a few years and they're an expert. We're all guilty of it, and we're all very opinionated. It's when it gets sour and bitter and personal, you know, the ad hominem attacks and things like that. That's when it needs to. You just got to ignore all that stuff and bat it aside, and just concentrate on the people that are doing interesting things, looking at interesting guitars, giving interesting content, spending their time finding these things so that they can do videos about them and share the information. That's what it's all about. So I'll get back to that on the next video, I promise. See you then.